Hello and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 3 and the Japan campaign. And where we left off, we were invading China, and well, we are carrying on with that endeavor. We are trying at the moment to surround Taiwan, and we are moving kind of maybe towards flanking Yuan, although I think it'll be very dependent on if we can free up some units effectively to go and do that. The river line and things here, it's an awkward place to kind of break into, but I think we can do it. We've also invaded in this area and linked up our forces now in and around Jinan. And we're launching some assaults kind of over here as well, hoping to launch and do some encirclements. So, yeah, we live in perpetual hope. And we've got some victories over here. Enemy are attempting to counterattack, but it ain't exactly going well. And in fact, if we have it, no we don't, but over here with you, yeah, we can do a bit of ground attack there, so we will. Our bombers are doing a bloody good job. Supporting where they need to. Okay, and yeah, we just lost that province there, but it's not the end of the world. And yeah, Italy, we'll do a nice trade with you, thank you. Okay, so it's just some HQs over here that we're needing to deal with. And I want to beat back that communist unit if we can. Some of them are quite experienced. And we'll move you down that way. Okay, and I can see this guards unit is doing its job. It's racing onwards. So we'll take it. And in fact, because we're moving you down, we'll move everyone else up to go deal with things. And the Jade unit will take this other motorized like that, and then surround. Really want to get a nice pocket formed if we can. You're struggling to fight there, so you know what, we'll move this infantry unit over and they can help deal with this counterattack that's causing a few problems. I'll move you there, and you know what, we'll move you over with your railway artillery to get ready to invade that urban area. Want to take the guards over there like that. Okay, and we're not that far off some of these more important areas, to be honest with you, in the center. Right, we're taking most of the decent plains lands, but then we're going to get into murky territory over here. But if we can break the back of our enemy, then, you know, happy days. Hopefully by pulling off some nice easy encirclements. Specifically thinking over here. Yeah, the second corps struggling. Okay, and I don't know how effective this will be, but we will see soon enough. small little counter-attack happening there, but it's achievable. Okay, and I think we are about to close the net over here on a relatively large amount of units, if we're careful about it. Because I can see a bunch of them, like, are trapped in and around here. So, of all different nationalities. Push there. Let's try and punch through with the infantry tank. Armor's going to be a real key consideration for us. Like, can we use armor to its greatest effect? Okay, and then we'll take you like that. And you along there. And then you south. Formation of the 4th Army. I'll take it. And no, I don't want to move units. They need to work on that, because that's rubbish. The whole moving of units thing. Like, just give extra units. If you're going to do that, you just need to effectively give, like, extra stuff. Because moving stuff around when you've got a fight already in situ, it's just not any good. Doesn't help. What if you need that unit in a critical position? Yeah, rubbish. Okay, and I'm quite liking the fact that in principle we're going to close this off. So, and no, I don't want to remove brigades. No. Rubbish. Right. Come on. Yeah, so cavalry are not going to cut it, I'm afraid. Kind of looking like we might fight each other. We're doing a nice bit of hedgehog defense over there. And still being counterattacked. Really want to close this off if I can. Right, let's move you back over the river there, because you're not doing what we want you to do at the moment, and you can protect the flank. Then we'll move you to go and help support that battle. And then we'll move you south to there to also support. And get the job done. And love seeing some 95s. Right. And you know what? We'll move you that way. And then get ready to surround over here. Okay, and those Cav struggling. Okay, so they're attempting a landing over there. Let's go deal with them. Those crazy bastards. Right, we will drop speed for a minute. So this is their last light cruiser, I think. And I reckon we're going to close the noose in a second on several units. And let's get you down there. Can do a nice bit of defense. We'll leave you behind over there, and then you can carry it forwards. There we go. Nice. Nice strip of land organised and dealt with there. And a bit of a crappy counter-attack coming in. Let's use effectively all of these to smash whatever defenses they've got in and around here. And we'll use this infantry division to spearhead it. Okay, and I'm not expecting them to be able to get out of this. So we'll have taken a decent amount of units off the board, I think. Which, that would be bloody beautiful. And then put a little bit more into officers. I want that officer ratio at like 110%. Because, yeah, I just want it higher than it is at the moment. And they're going to try again. So, you've only got Shanghai, Shuzhou, and yeah, so we can push out there with you and not have any problems. We'll hold off actually with those guys, and then we use the 4 divisions here to push towards Nanjing. Good, got you strategically redeploying in. Right, come on, and support attack there. And then if we can just tighten the noose around the neck here. In fact, I think you've got a job to do over there. And I think there's another job to do over there with you. Right. We want these bombers to jump in. They're resting now with a ground attack. Come on, make your way in. Close it up. Get it done. There we go. That's closed it. And let's start trying to close up the noose. I'm hoping this infantry tank will turn the tide of this one in our favour. Probably do a little bit of ground attack there with them. And in fact, we can probably move over, yeah, this close air support group and base them here. And they can help as well. So, we've got some condemnation that's come our way. How dare they? Okay, and looks to me like we've managed to capture a pretty decent amount of units here. Closing up another pocket over there would be even better. Okay, and we lost specialized infantry division, which I'm not overly happy about, but that's fine. I will accept it as my own mistake. Right, we've won Qingdao. Okay, and they've got a huge amount of units caught. Like, an absolutely ridiculous amount. So, including some of their German train divisions. Right, and we're going to use both of them to push like that. And yeah, let's get ourselves over the river nicely and towards Nanjing. Still in pretty good terrain. And it's just those decent German train divisions that we've got to worry about. Beating them back. There's not going to be much of these units left. Like, they're completely destroyed. Or at least I think they will be completely destroyed by the time this is done. And I want to see a nice simple victory over here to take this location. And then we'll be able to pull some extra specialist units in this part of the world to deal with a few things. The mighty conscripts of doom. Right, a nice good victory there. I'm going to send these motorized units south to go lend a hand over here. And we're closing in now on Wuhan, so we are not far away. I can see progress over here. Like, pretty clear, identifiable, which is good. Move them around and then complete this bucketing up. So right now we know that there's at least 68,000 in there, but if not more, once we factor in some of the ones that are retreating here that we're going to take out. Okay, and we are struggling a tiny bit for fuel, unfortunately. Price of motorizing your army. Right, and then we want you to attack like that. Then you can join in on that one. And then we can breach the nice Yangtze River, I believe it is. Ah, it's not the Yangtze, is it, actually? There is a... yeah, Geo. And it's the Yellow River. Ah, okay. The Yangtze obviously is over here. And they're looking pretty exhausted. And I think our bombers are starting to smell victory. And there we go. That's a nice little encirclement. So, yeah, 61,000 soldiers caught in there that are currently in combat. But likely more. Still advancing on all flanks as well. And getting a few more victories elsewhere. Including tidying up this lovely peninsula over here. So they don't have a huge amount of units in, but they do have some units from the Guangxi clique over there involved. And just won the battle at Weihai, is it? Okay, and then we're being blockaded by another German trained unit. They're the only ones that are actually, I think, performing well currently. And Encirclement is causing them no end of hassle. I'm just going to turn this down a little bit because I kind of feel like some of the effect volume from the battles is a little bit insane. In fact, it still sounds insane even after lowering it. to me, it doesn't seem like that made any difference at all to the sound. So... maybe better now. Okay, and I see him breaking. And we got a German over there. And then let's move you like that. And then, yeah, happy for you guys to lead a little push that way. Same thing with you. We can always try and surround from that side of things if we need to. We'll throw the cav in as well to be a little bit of extra support. The bombers might be doing a little bit of extra support. Let's rebase them over here. They can repair 2 a day. Always important to move people up. And you've got definitely enough troops over there. And you know what? We'll take another core of troops over here. To lend a bit more support. And yeah, I'm going to try and get you over and doing your bit. Would love to break over the river here. Like, I don't think some of these units have got any hope in hell, really, of pushing forwards. There we go. They're broken already. And we freed up our motorized whilst dealing with a huge amount of them. And hopefully surrounding them in their capital. I think our air power is starting to tell a little bit over there. Right, let's see if we can't rebase over there. Let's see if we get slightly better range. We do, so we can help over there. Let's do that. And it'd be great if we could cause these 2 units to break, to be honest with you. And yeah, that defeat of Tian, that is a very worthy goal. As would linking up our forces over here and breaking out into this part of the world. Okay, so our veterans from the Spanish Civil War. And we can choose to re-equip them. Don't seem to be able to upgrade them anymore, which is a bit rubbish. Alright, come on. Rapid fire support attack. And I think the armor is really pulling its weight here, to be honest with you. Okay, and our infantry is nicely cleaned up. We can now move you over in that direction. And you're going to start pushing. And we are on the outskirts of Nanjing now, which is worth a few victory points. And they've only got a national unity of 89%, so it's not great. Yeah, that seems good to me, to push on like that. Okay, we're at 50. We are slowly going green. And in fact, you know, even though we're dealing with a river crossing, our units are starting to tell. Right, and I think, to be honest with you, we're in a position where we can send back all of our naval ships, because I'd imagine we're struggling a little bit armor-wise, and they'll make that multiple combat penalty giveaway. I think the fuel's probably being drained by the Navy. Come on, guys. Finish the jam job. And yeah, you need a commander. That's fine. We'll give you one. We'll give our units a chance to rest and recuperate. And it looks to me like 2-on-1 is starting to work. Okay, so battleship class, upper level. And armored unit upper level. You can do a little bit more into officer ratio to keep that going nicely. Okay, and you know what? We're going to move you there. And we're going to hopefully win this battle down here. Because, goddamn, that was a stressful experience. and they're now losing 0.6 a day, so yeah, they're starting to work out now. They might even lose organizational, like, kind of... Yeah, they might even lose out there, to be honest with you, before they lose out anywhere else. So our infantry have managed to do the hard yards. And then I kind of want to launch a little bit of a sweeping hook, really, to close up this area here. So if we were to move our forces towards Wuhan like that, you know, would that let us close up and do another little pocket? Probably, I would say. So let's try and do a little bit of a push. Like that. And you know what? We'll leave you there. And this guy has fought valiantly in defense there. It must be said. Move you into the hot location just to keep an eye on it. And then, yeah, let's do ground attack there and do a bit more support. And do a bit of ground attack there. And then, you know what? Let's use... Should have thought about this earlier. You can go to Shanghai. And you, dear fellows, can go over there. Okay, and that looks like we've got them in. Fuel is still a major problem. And we've got you in place. And there's the inevitable counterattack. He's got a lot of defense, which is good. Let's do a little bit of ground attack there. Keep the jobs all running. So in a defensive position, they should be able to support and deal with this. We'll use you to go clean up those communist guerrillas. Okay, and yeah, I can see the surround happening over here. The billion units or so that we're dealing with in this part of the world aside. take all of you and hit them here into these hills. And then we've got some plains, etc. over there. So and that's a slightly annoying amount of partisans, but oh well. Seeing some good victories over there. Okay, and we got Hiraga's new designs. We can expand our hospitals. And I think we will call it an episode there. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. In the next episode, we will finish taking Tian. And then we will move on, I think, to Nanjing. Clean up these few partisans. And then try to complete an encirclement, I would say, kind of into this part of the world here, if we can. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I look forward to seeing the next episode of Hearts of Iron 3. Thanks again. Bye-bye.